Bold and beautiful early spoilers January 12th to 16th. Steffy absolutely terrified. Ridge's shocking behavior gets worse. Bold and the beautiful early weekly spoilers for January 12th, 16th reveal Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, being terrified, and Ridge Forrester's Torsten K. behavior getting worse. As we always do on the early edition day, we start with what's coming the rest of this week. Then we'll dive into what is ahead for next week. Bold and beautiful early spoilers. Sheila's upset. On Wednesday, January 7th, we may get more of the Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, and Deke Sharp Harrison Cohn conversation that carries over from Tuesday's episode. I wonder if he's going to tell Sheila the harsh truth that he will never accept her being with his dad, and that Hope Logan, Annika Noel, won't either. Sheila is definitely upset about the lack of acceptance from Deacon Sharp's, Sean Cannon, family. After this conversation, a very upset Sheila is going to ask Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, to come see her. No doubt Sheila is going to want to rant about Deacon, his ungrateful kids, and Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, pushing back on her. She is sure to find a very sympathetic ear while talking to Lee. Carter races to stop Daphne from leaving for Paris on B&B. Carter, Walton, Lauren St. Victor, and Ridge are blindsided when Steffy drops some big news. This is also going to pick back up from Tuesday's conversation. Steffy is going to tell Carter and Ridge that Daphne is going back to Paris. She said she can work on her fragrances from there, since that's where she was before. Steffy had just asked her about working on a Hope for the Future fragrance, and Daphne responded that she will work with Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, because he's already there. This effectively leaves Hope out of the loop. Carter is going to leap into action. He needs to stop Daphne, the woman he loves, from leaving Los Angeles. If you remember, he and Ridge were talking about the jewelry that Ivy Forrester, Ashley Brewer, and Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, designed, and there was a case open with a bunch of rings. I think that's not for nothing. I expect Carter may grab the biggest and prettiest one of those rings and run out to find Daphne in the Forrester Creations showroom, so he can make it clear that he doesn't want to let her go. He loves her, but he has dropped the ball on communicating. A surprising proposal and a heartbreaking rejection. On Thursday, January 8th, we've got Carter popping the question. He tells Daphne that he's not going to let her push him away because he loves her. If you remember, she told Steffy that she was expecting Carter to make things official between them. I don't know if she was expecting a proposal or not, but she wanted some sort of commitment over the holidays, and he didn't do it. Maybe Daphne was presidency expecting Carter to ask her to move in or offer a grand gesture to make it clear that she is the woman he wants. Daphne is still feeling a little insecure about the whole Hope situation because Carter rejected her and stuck with Hope initially. When Daphne warned him he was going to get hurt, he eventually did. She doesn't want to feel like a second choice. At this point, Daphne doesn't think Carter loves her. He's going to make it very clear he does by dropping to one knee, but he's not going to get the answer he wants. Deacon Sharp's confession and Sheila Carter's growing suspicion on Bold and the Beautiful. Daphne is going to let Carter down gently on Thursday. She is going to tell him no initially. She told Steffy previously that she wants to be pursued, and obviously Carter isn't doing things in the way that Daphne wants them done. I fully expect Carter to say whatever he has to say to convince Daphne to say yes and stay in Los Angeles. Carter probably shouldn't tell her that he just grabbed that ring and ran out. He needs to make it seem like he had planned this all along. Meanwhile, we've got Deacon confessing something to Deke on Thursday. Deacon may admit one of two things, or possibly both. One is that he has a spark of feelings for another woman. He also has concerns about Sheila and her mental stability, fearing she might be getting volatile and dangerous again. Deacon has completely changed his life. I don't think he's capable of doing the things he did before, but Sheila is always one breath away from being her old psycho self again. I do wonder if Deacon might mention to Deke that the woman he's crushing on is Taylor. Steffy Forrester catches Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp in a heated moment on B&B. Steffi heads over to see her mom at the hospital, and she may catch a glimpse of a heated moment between Taylor and Deacon. This happens right as Deacon is leaving an appointment before he goes back to Il Giardino to talk to his son. Steffi is going to confront Taylor after she gets an eyeful. While Steffi is ranting at her mom, Taylor flashes back to her close moment with Deacon. Steffi tells her she cannot fall for a patient, especially one that is married to a lunatic like Deacon is. On Friday, January 9th, Sheila overhears Deke and Deacon talking. Sheila then confronts Deke about the conversation on Bold and the Beautiful. She may hear Deke telling Deacon that he wishes his dad was not with Sheila. She's going to have a problem with that, but she really shouldn't be surprised. This is the second uncomfortable conversation Sheila and Deke have this week, and it is probably going to make him dislike Sheila even more than he already does. Wedding bells on Bold and the Beautiful and new rivalries in Los Angeles. Daphne and Carter talk about the future, and it sounds like she may be talked around to saying yes. Official spoilers suggest they're going to get married and start talking about making a family right away. Two people may also kiss, and I think it might be Deacon and Taylor. Most everyone else is partnered up right now, leaving very few loose ends. The following week, January 12th through the 16th, look for more of Ridge being awful and smack-talking Katie Logan, Heather Tom. Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, says she wants to support Katie, but at the same time, she's giving Ridge and his nasty comments a whole lot of oxygen. Carter has basically objected to what Ridge is saying, noting that Katie knows what she's doing. However, Ridge always thinks he's the most correct person in the room. He has major karma coming his way. Things may also get uncomfortable soon with Dylan staying at Will Spencer's, Crew Morrow, place because Elektra already got confrontational about it. Carter and Daphne start their wedding planning. I think it would be cool if this year's location shoot was Paris for their wedding. Hopefully, Daphne's not going to settle for an office or fireplace wedding. The future of Taylor Hayes, Deacon Sharp, and the Logan design team on B&B. Taylor finally found a man who is not a waffler. It looks like Deacon is her destiny, but getting him away from Sheila could be dangerous. Taylor's love story involves Steffi playing a big part, but it's going to be a negative role as she tries to keep them apart. Lee is going to continue to show sympathy for Sheila. We've got a new R.J. Forrester, Brian Nicoletti, debuting soon. There's no official air date yet for Brian Nicoletti in the role, but he's going to be in a big rivalry with Will from day one. Katie is going to continue her search for a lead designer, but is also going to make Deke an official offer. He is going to be thrilled when he gets the chance to work with Eric's heartbreaking and pulse-pounding news for fans of the Bold and the Beautiful. The latest spoilers for the week of January 12th to 16th, 2026, paint a chilling picture of a Forrester family in total meltdown. At the center of the storm is Steffi Forrester, who finds herself in a position she never thought possible, absolutely terrified of her own father. As Rich Forrester's behavior takes a dark, erratic turn, the foundation of Forrester Creations and the Forrester family itself is beginning to crumble. The breaking point: why Steffi is living in fear. For years, Steffi has looked to Ridge as her rock, her protector, and her greatest ally in the boardroom. But today, that image has shattered. The primary source of the tension? Taylor Hayes' burgeoning and dangerous connection with Deacon Sharp. Steffi has been vocal about her disapproval of Taylor and Deacon's therapy-turned-romance. She sees it for what it is, a death sentence if Sheila Carter finds out. However, while Steffi is trying to handle the situation with logic and protective maternal instinct, Ridge has chosen a path of aggression and volatility. Witnesses at Forrester Creations describe a Ridge they no longer recognize. He isn't just upset, he is spiraling. Insiders suggest that Ridge's king of the world attitude has evolved into something far more sinister. He is making demands, issuing ultimatums, and his recent confrontations with Steffi have left her visibly shaken and in tears. Ridge's shocking behavior. From CEO to loose cannon. What is driving Ridge to this breaking point? It's a perfect storm of professional failure and personal betrayal. The loss of the Logan name. Ridge is still reeling from Katie Logan successfully reclaiming her family name for her own fashion house. He views this as a personal insult and a direct threat to the Forrester legacy. The Deacon factor. Ridge's hatred for Deacon Sharp is legendary. Knowing that Taylor, the woman he has spent a lifetime protecting, is seeking comfort in Deacon's arms has triggered a primal, ugly response in him. The Eric conflict. Tensions between Ridge and Eric have reached an all-time high. Ridge's push for Eric to retire has backfired, leaving Ridge feeling isolated and desperate to maintain control. In a shocking scene earlier today, Ridge reportedly blew up at Steffy when she suggested he take a step back and calm down. The verbal lashing was so intense that Steffy fled the office, leaving staffers whispering about whether Ridge is even fit to lead the company anymore. A dangerous game with Sheila Carter. Steffy's terror isn't just about her father's temper. It's about the ripple effect his behavior is creating. By Ridge acting so aggressively toward Taylor and Deacon, he is inadvertently drawing the attention of Sheila Carter. Steffy knows that if Sheila perceives any threat to her marriage with Deacon, she will snap. While Steffy is trying to keep things quiet and de-escalate, Ridge is doing the exact opposite. He is poking the bear, and Steffy is terrified that his ego will get them all killed. Ridge thinks he's invincible, one source close to the production teased. But his refusal to see the danger he's putting Steffy and Taylor in is what makes this truly tragic. He's becoming the very villain he claims to be protecting them from. The boardroom battle, a brand in jeopardy. The drama isn't contained to the Forrester mansion. At the office, Carter Walton and Steffy are struggling to keep the business afloat, while Ridge treats the executive suite like a battlefield. With Katie Logan and Bill Spencer launching their rival house, Forrester Creations needs a steady hand at the helm. Instead, they have a man who is alienating his top talent and terrifying his co-CEO. Rumors are swirling that Steffy may be forced to make the ultimate choice, ousting her father from the company for the sake of its survival. Summary of the week's shocks character current status. Steffy terrified and considering a major move to stop Ridge. Ridge increasingly volatile, alienating his children, and Eric, that Taylor caught between her feelings for Deacon and Ridge's rage. Sheila lurking in the shadows, waiting for the Forresters to slip up, Katie capitalizing on the Forrester chaos to build her new empire. Is this the end of the Tridge bond? For fans who have rooted for the Ridge and Taylor Tridge family for decades, this is a bitter pill to swallow. To see Steffy, the ultimate daddy's girl, recoil in fear when Ridge enters a room is a testament to how far the character has fallen. Ridge has always been a waffler, but this new era of unhinged aggression is something different entirely. Is he suffering from a medical issue? Is the stress of the fashion wars finally breaking his mind? Or is this simply the true Ridge Forrester, a man who cannot handle a world he doesn't control? What happens next? As we move toward the middle of January 2026, the stakes have never been higher. Spoilers suggest that Finn will soon step in to protect Steffy from her father's outbursts, leading to a physical confrontation between the doctor and the dressmaker that will change the family dynamic forever. Meanwhile, Sheila Carter is watching. She sees the cracks in the Forrester armor. She sees Ridge's instability. And as every fan knows, Sheila is most dangerous when her enemies are at their weakest. The bold and the beautiful has always been about the bold, but today it's about the broken. Fans of the bold and the beautiful are reeling today as a deeply unsettling storyline takes center stage, one that leaves Steffy Forrester shaken to her core and viewers questioning everything they thought they knew about Ridge Forrester. What began as tension and quiet concern has exploded into something far darker. Ridge's behavior is no longer just erratic or emotionally charged. It's escalating, and Steffy is absolutely terrified. For years, Ridge has been portrayed as a complicated patriarch, passionate, flawed, but ultimately devoted to his family. Now that image is cracking in the most heartbreaking way possible. Steffy, who has always seen her father as her protector and moral compass, is facing a terrifying realization. Ridge may be spiraling out of control, and no one seems able to stop him. A father-daughter bond on the brink. Steffy and Ridge have shared one of the most powerful bonds on the canvas. He was her anchor during heartbreaks, her defender during corporate wars, and her rock when her world fell apart. That's why this turn of events cuts so deeply. Steffy isn't just worried. She's scared in a way she's never been before. In recent moments, Ridge's mood swings have become impossible to ignore. One minute he's calm, almost detached. The next he's explosive, his anger sharp, his words cruel, and his judgment clouded. Steffy has watched in disbelief as her father lashes out at the people closest to him, making reckless decisions that threaten not just Forrester creations, but the family itself. What frightens her most isn't just the anger, it's the emptiness behind his eyes. Ridge's shocking behavior crosses a line. According to the latest developments, Ridge's behavior has taken a disturbing turn. He's no longer open to reason. Conversations quickly turn into confrontations, and anyone who dares question him becomes an enemy in his mind. Steffy attempts to reach him, pleading with him to slow down, to think clearly, but Ridge shuts her out. Worse, he snaps at her, accusing her of betrayal and disloyalty. For Steffy, those words land like a punch to the chest. She's fought tooth and nail for her family her entire life. The bold and the beautiful are reeling today as a deeply unsettling storyline takes center stage, one that leaves Steffy Forrester shaken to her core and viewers questioning everything they thought they knew about Ridge Forrester. What began as tension and quiet concern has exploded into something far darker. Ridge's behavior is no longer just erratic or emotionally charged. It's escalating, and Steffy is absolutely terrified. For years, Ridge has been portrayed as a complicated patriarch, passionate, flawed, but ultimately devoted to his family. Now, that image is cracking in the most heartbreaking way possible. Steffy, who has always seen her father as her protector and moral compass, is facing a terrifying realization. Ridge may be spiraling out of control, and no one seems able to stop him. A father-daughter bond on the brink. Steffy and Ridge have shared one of the most powerful bonds on the canvas. He was her anchor during heartbreaks, her defender during corporate wars, and her rock when her world fell apart. That's why this turn of events cuts so deeply. Steffy isn't just worried. She's scared in a way she's never been before. In recent moments, Ridge's mood swings have become impossible to ignore. One minute he's calm, almost detached. The next he's explosive, his anger sharp, his words cruel, and his judgment clouded. Steffy has watched in disbelief as her father lashes out at the people closest to him, making reckless decisions that threaten not just Forrester creations, but the family itself. What frightens her most isn't just the anger, it's the emptiness behind his eyes. Ridge's shocking behavior crosses a line. According to the latest developments, Ridge's behavior has taken a disturbing turn. He's no longer open to reason. Conversations quickly turn into confrontations, and anyone who dares question him becomes an enemy in his mind. Steffy attempts to reach him, pleading with him to slow down, to think clearly, but Ridge shuts her out. Worse, he snaps at her, accusing her of betrayal and disloyalty. For Steffy, those words land like a punch to the chest. She's fought tooth and nail for her family her entire life. To be rejected by her own father is devastating. And yet, Ridge doesn't stop there. His decisions at Forrester Creations become increasingly impulsive, driven by emotion rather than strategy. Long-time alliances are broken. Trusted partners are pushed aside. It's as if Ridge is daring the world to challenge him, and daring fate to strike back. Steffy's fear turns to panic. Behind closed doors, Steffy's fear intensifies. This isn't just about business or family arguments anymore. She senses something deeply wrong. Ridge's behavior feels unrecognizable, unpredictable, and dangerous, not physically, but emotionally and psychologically. Steffy confides in those closest to her, admitting the truth she's been afraid to say out loud. She doesn't know how to help her father anymore. The man who once guided her through life now feels like a stranger. Her terror grows when she realizes Ridge may be isolating himself on purpose, cutting ties, pushing people away, and refusing support. For Steffy, that isolation is the most alarming sign of all. A family held hostage by one man's spiral. The ripple effects of Ridge's downward spiral are devastating. Brooke is caught in the crossfire, once again bearing the brunt of Ridge's emotional volatility. Old wounds are ripped open, and familiar arguments take on a darker, more painful edge. Meanwhile, Taylor's concern grows as she watches the man she once loved unravel before her eyes. Even those who have stood by Ridge through countless storms are starting to question whether this time is different, whether he's crossed into territory he may not be able to come back from on his own. And at the center of it all stands Steffy, torn between loyalty and survival. Steffy's impossible choice. Sources hint that Steffy may soon be forced into an unthinkable decision: protect the family and the company, or stand by her father no matter the cost. It appears Ridge's actions could jeopardize everything the Forresters have built, and Steffy knows the responsibility may fall squarely on her shoulders. The emotional toll is crushing. Every move she makes feels like a betrayal. Every silence feels like complicity. And every confrontation with Ridge leaves her more shaken than the last. Viewers are witnessing a Steffy they've never seen before. Not fierce and defiant, but vulnerable, frightened, and heartbroken. Is there a breaking point ahead? The biggest question haunting fans today is chillingly simple. How far will Ridge go? If his behavior continues to worsen, the consequences could be catastrophic. Relationships may be permanently destroyed. Trust may never be rebuilt. And Steffy, already pushed to her emotional limits, could suffer lasting scars from watching her father self-destruct. There's growing speculation that a major turning point is coming, one that forces the family to confront Ridge head-on. Whether that confrontation leads to healing or total collapse remains painfully unclear. A very sad chapter unfolds. Today's developments mark one of the saddest chapters in The Bold and the Beautiful in recent memory. Watching Steffy tremble under the weight of fear, uncertainty, and heartbreak is gut-wrenching for longtime fans. Seeing Ridge, a man once defined by strength and charisma, lose himself so completely is equally devastating. As this dark storyline unfolds, viewers are left holding their breath, hoping for redemption but bracing for tragedy. One thing is certain. Steffy's terror is real, Ridge's behavior is getting worse, and the fallout is only just beginning. Stay tuned, because the emotional storm hitting the Forrester family is far from over, and the next twist could change everything forever. Broken Heart.